as I was picking my nose. Fuck. I was just itching my nose.
Mm-hmm.
The inside.
That's
Tentacion.
Silencio. Oh yeah, because one of the things I do is I go, because my memory, I have like the memory of a goldfish with Alzheimer's, and I go back and I rewatch the stream, and the last one, Adam, all his voice was muted or was like cut out or muted.
Just Adam?
I don't remember if it was fine. Yeah, just Adam. All right, go ahead, say something now, Adam. You're muted on your own stream right now again. Yep. And now I'm hearing myself talking to myself, and I'm getting very
I heard
confused.
you talking again. See, is this the beginning of Holland Drive?
Silencio.
Tentacion.
How do I find you? Because you're not in my following list.
On Twitch, it's the most confusing thing in the world. It's almost like they don't want you to find the people that you have watched before. You know what I mean? It's like they want you to like find new shit.
Yeah, that's true. They really have made that. I mean, you would think that that would be a pretty central thing to.
Yeah. Like my first list should be most recently viewed, Twitch streamers, and I should have basically Matt and Adam on there, and
it's just under
13 women with giant tits that play Destiny.
Yeah.
It's
we're
just
streaming?
under the mixer portion that shows you your desktop audio, and it just defaults to everything. Like you never have to change any of that. I had to go into properties, and it was just selected. It just said default mic, but it wasn't picking anything up.
So you think it's good now?
Yeah. Check, because
right.
I can see it lighten up now. That's so stupid.
I'm not going to check it because that really screwed me up.
I know it's working now.
Okay, cool. Shall I start the recap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody comfortable, relaxed, got their drinks and food. And Crocus, you want to try your webcam even though it's choppy?
Yeah, I think you should. Even if it's just pitch black and we can't see, it's better than that little.
Okay,
Blair Witch. No, it looks good.
Gangster or whatever that is.
You don't have to, Crocus. If you're shy, you can turn off your webcam.
No, it's okay. I want to make everyone happy.
Dick. All right, here we go. So this is session 21, session 20 recap. Here we go. All right. Last time, we picked up on the front steps of the Kolyanovich estate. With minimal convincing, the beautiful Irina allowed the group to enter the mansion, which was covered with holy symbols and various other wards against evil. 3 days prior, the late burgomaster had been laid in a homemade coffin, now resting in a side room. The house was well furnished, but run down and otherwise unnoteworthy. Irina pleaded and eventually convinced the party to help her lay her father to rest appropriately. The local church, which the group had visited recently, was an obvious choice. Acolyte Donovich could perform such a ceremony, and the church had a proper cemetery. So, through a bit of a dark, cold storm, the group trudged to the church in the late afternoon. Thornton successfully attempted to solo pallbearer the casket, which seemed to intrigue but concern Irina. So Ismark then lent a hand, as well as Spargle, at least as much as he could, as they made their way through the quiet streets to the church in front of the graveyard. Donovich answered the door, but was a bit apprehensive of the group, who had earlier confronted him and exposed his ill son. Donovich flat out refused to bury the burgomaster or even step foot into the graveyard at night, so Irina agreed to wait until dawn, but did not want to leave her father's side, so the party decided to stay in the church for the evening. Yes, the same church with the crazy vampire living in the basement who had been recently nourished with half-elf blood. Spargle performed a ritual to cast an alarm spell on the hallway outside of their chambers, just as he had at the Blood on the Vine, making note to exclude his friends and traveling companions. Thoradin thought it best to sleep on top of the coffin, which gave Irina pause again, but he convinced her that it was a dwarvish tradition for luck in the afterlife. Deckard, not feeling well, retired to one of the quieter bedrooms without saying much. He appeared feverish, pale, and somewhat despondent. Spargle took first watch, the first few hours of the evening being pretty uneventful. However, at one point, Deckard, asleep in his room, started making noises of restlessness, grunting, and tossing and turning violently. Spargle, being a bit disturbed by this, securely tied Deckard's door to the room across the hall with a sturdy rope. Irina herself slept soundly, perhaps for the first time in a long while. Alaric took the second shift, patrolling the church a few times. All was well, until just before dawn, when he heard a loud slam and the clanging of chains. Simultaneously, the sound of Spargle's ringing alarm started in as well. Immediately, Thoradin popped up, eyes glowing with a divine awareness. He quickly spotted Doru, the vampire thrall son of Donovich, silently hanging from the chapel rafters directly above a sleeping Irina. Battle ensued throughout the church, and the deceptively frail-looking vampire put up quite a fight, regenerating a few times, clawing and gnashing at the party, and climbing the walls like a spider. Doru even bit Thoradin twice, seemingly draining a bit of his fortitude each time. Spargle blasted the thrall with an impressive array of pyrotechnics, and Blackwind followed with a barrage of bright blue witch bolts, which also landed soundly. At one point, Deckard awoke and started yelling to the rest of the group about the barred door, which everyone ignored. Ismark and Irina joined in the fight as well, the best they could. However, it seemed like of all the weapons, only Thoradin's talon struck true. At one point, Donovich came charging out of his room, barely dressed. He began to protest the skirmish, but quickly realized it was pointless, and instead slumped to the ground, surrendering his son to this inevitability. Thoradin swung around wildly with the burgomaster's coffin lid that had been infused with the glow of the divine, but missed every time. Doru dashed madly for the front door, trying to escape, but Donovich himself tripped him, sending the young vampire sprawling directly at Alaric's feet. The barbarian hacked at Doru a few more times. Crawling now, nearly lifeless, Spargle finished him off with a final blast of fiery magic. Donovich sobbed, equal measure of loss and relief, now more somber and quieter than before. Irina commended the group and acknowledged that they seemed quite capable of assisting them, and she was thankful for it. Now dawn, Donovich conducted a formal funeral for the burgomaster, invoking the blessings of the Morning Lord throughout the ceremony. Donovich then suggested that the party visit the Abbey at Kresk, as they may hold knowledge of some way to defend against Strahd. However, Ismark again implored the group to take them to Vallaki, as he heard they have strong defenses. After the service, the group returned to the church, let Deckard out of his room, and then headed back to the Blood on the Vine Tavern for breakfast and to decide what to do next. Take us to the Blood on the Vine.
So we didn't take a rest yet. We just got there at breakfast time.
That's right. In fact, we're going to pick up, since we didn't do a lot of fireside chat with you guys sort of entering into the Blood on the Vine Tavern again.
And do we have any idea how, like, does Ismark know where the Abbey at Kresk, or Krezik, or Kresk, whatever you pronounce
The way you just said it last, which is more correct than the way I said it.
Okay.
So it's Kresk, but it's got that German Bavaria, it's got that Transylvanian sounding kind of Kresk. I can't get it right, but it's I'll write it into that's how you
Abbey.
spell it. Yeah, and it's an abbey. There's an abbey at Kresk.
Does he know where that is, Ismark? Oh, I could ask him. Ismark, do you know where Kresk is?
He says, yeah, well, I haven't been there myself, but I've been out with some scouting parties and hunting parties. My father, would let me go out with the groups that were doing that. And while I've never seen it, I know the general direction. I know how to get to the road that would lead that way. But my understanding is it's a few days travel.
And how far away is that? Are we looking different directions completely, or general same direction as Vallaki?
Oops, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking him about Vallaki.
Yeah, that's fine. Either one. I'm trying to understand.
His answer was he knows where Vallaki is, and it was in that direction. So he says, so to clarify, he says, yeah, I know that we have to travel to the west to get to Vallaki. And if you ask him about Kresk, he says, I know less about the general direction, but I do know it is also to the west, perhaps past Kresk or past Vallaki.
Okay.
I know it's further. And I do know that Vallaki is at least a few days travel.
So when we were talking about where to go next, I mean, I just didn't know if one's on the way to the other, I mean, and they want to be dropped off on the way, maybe that just solves both of it. We go to Vallaki and we either pause or keep going if we really want to hit the Abbey. I'm open to either, though.
Head west, right?
Sounds good to me.
I agree.
Eric comes out, and you notice that the three women, gypsy ladies that are always here, are not here, although it is rather early in the morning. Anyhow, so Eric comes out and he serves some breakfast for anybody that wants it. He seems to have some trays of some stuff. I don't know if you guys want to eat anything.
Aye, what are you giving out, you half-wit?
He's he kind of he doesn't really look at you, but his head turns in response to your voice being there, and he says, "We have the most wonderful breakfast that the matrons have provided." And he has a large tray in front of him, and he says sliced roots baked and slathered in animal fats, and he kind of slides a tray of that in front of you. And then he starts passing out these wooden mugs that are and he says, fermented grape juice for the master. And he says that exact same phrase for every single person he hands it to, almost like a robot. But he hands his fermented grape juice, and then he throws a big pot of like a steaming kettle of like tea. And the tea has a very not pleasant, but earthy smell to it. It almost smells like boiling mud, for lack of a better word. But he pushes all that out, and then he looks at Ismark and he says, the Kolyanovich tab is still open, I presume. And Ismark kind of pats himself, or like looks for his like coin purse and stuff. And he kind of looks around at everybody, kind of sheepish. And he says, he goes, I think that's, I'm about tapped out here.
Oh, let's lighten the pockets out of you, Bismarck.
Says, it's been expensive, kind of finding you guys, and, kind of the family coffers are sort of tapped. Eric looks around. He actually starts pulling the food and drink back onto a tray, and he says, the matron said this meal is 2 electrum. If you don't have that, I will return the refreshments. As he starts,
The half elf, he's got it. He'll pay for it.
Yeah, I got it.
all right, so you can chip in 2 electrum.
All right.
So Spargo,
Electrum.
no. So after that, and after you guys kind of pay, Ismark looks again to you, Spargo, and says, he says, I can get us. I think I can get us far enough to where we hit the road, and I think after that it'll be pretty clear on how we get to town.
Do we? I look, you guys. Should we take a rest?
Oh yeah, I'm all beaten up. I could use a few winks. I'm a little beat up.
Sounds great.
So you're going to take a long rest or a short rest?
I think we need a long rest.
Yeah, I'm all fucked up.
Okay, it's a little bit after dawn now. So if you take a long rest, that'll push you towards the later evening before you decide to hit the road. That's your call.
Yeah.
Right when it'll be safe outside.
Unless we want to take a really long rest. Sleep through
Like
the
a
night.
double nap.
Yeah, can we just chill for the whole day?
Can we sleep for 12 hours? Or 24 hours?
You can.
Is there a place to procure horses in town? I ask.
I knew who to ask that question to.
So are you asking? So Ismark says he almost kind of looks. Yeah, Ismark looks at you kind of
That's
funny.
his Christmas present.
He says, he goes, I wish if we could even afford a horse in this area, that'd be the way to go. Really, only the Vistani seem to have any mounts of any sort of reliability. There certainly aren't any in the village of Barovia.
You hear that, Deckard? No horses, lad.
No wonder that guy left.
Deckard has been almost zombie-like until the food was pushed in front of him. And while no one else is really eating, or if anybody is eating, they're eating rather, gingerly and just taking little kind of bites. Deckard's eating like this is Thanksgiving dinner. He's just grabbing roots and he's just kind of mowing them down and he's slugging back grape juice. This is the first sort of energy you've seen out of him in the last 24 hours.
They boil him in horse
If
piss?
anyone- If anyone wants to inspect him, I have guidance. Who has a high inspection? Because we need to figure out what's going on with him.
Well, I'm very concerned about him. I don't know about inspection, but I am really concerned about him. And,
He
and
ain't
somewhat
doing-
wary about.
I mean, has anyone tried? I mean, I guess we can't really talk to him. Obviously,
Can we, Dan? Can we talk
we
to?
can't really. I mean,
We can talk to Dan Deckard, right? So
Yeah, sure.
do you have permission to play Deckard?
I'm the dungeon master. I have permission to do everything in the universe in this world.
Mhm.
I could make Deckard stand on the table and start jerking off on Eric's forehead, and you guys would all have to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Let's
I
hope
mean,
it doesn't lead to that option.
his current state is he's been like from here to the church and back has been very aloof or very not here, very just sort of
Link
not making eye
established.
contact, just sort of looking around feverish, sort of just I don't know how to explain it, sort of just disconnected from reality, so to speak. You can certainly try to talk to him.
Hey, Deckard, what's going on there? You're acting a little funny.
It's like, man, it's like, this food's hitting the spot. I've been I just haven't been feeling myself since I took that walk the other night. I don't know if this place just sort of got to me or if I caught a bug, but I sure am not feeling so good. You gonna finish that fat slathered root in front of you? I'd like to finish that. And he's just eating everything that no one else is touching. He just keeps
Fat
eating.
slather root.
Yeah, go for it. It's all yours, man.
Yeah, eat what you want, brother.
You say that he reaches over to Thoradin's plate and just grabs this. It looks like a rotten carrot.
Oh, like a
And he grabs. Yeah. It just looks like a very, very rotted carrot. That's just all kinds of different.
Kalimporn legacy, fat on a vegetable.
And he picks up the root and he squeezes a little bit and it kind of oozes out of his hands and now it starts to look almost like pus-like.
Oh,
And he just starts shoving it in his mouth and he's got like grease and just shit around his face as he's just kind of rubbing it in.
Does he like just glancing at him? Does he look different? And I don't mean like tired or worn out, but like, I don't know. Does he look different? Like, like looking in his eyes, do they look different? Does something seem off to us by?
is he a crazy
visually
look in his
inspecting?
eyes?
Not like there's been a physical change. It's the same Deckard if he were like had this a flu.
Okay.
Nothing's changed like color, shape, size, anything. It's the same guy. He just looks very, very sick. And he has now a bunch of just garbage and shit all over his face.
That should make
So
him
he's
feel a lot
possessed. Got it. Okay. Is there a way to like see if he's possessed by demons or?
You guys can do whatever is on your character sheet.
That's what I was just looking at. I don't
better. Pretty much the only thing I can do to him is get really angry and chop him in half.
Yes.
So
do it!
that'll be the last resort if he goes off the deep end.
If he goes off the deep end. I knew he liked horses. I didn't know he liked parsnips so much.
I say we leave it.
So what do you guys think?
Uh,
Should we sleep? Like, should we wait around and sleep through the night, or just try to suck it up and take a short rest?
Ismark and Irina start whispering to each other as you guys are debating that. Deckard says, he goes, yeah, I could sure as hell use a nap after this delicious breakfast. Trying to make him sound as hillbilly as I fucking can.
it's pretty
That's
accurate.
like bud.
Thoradin, how you feeling, man? You took a lot of beating.
I'm all right. I'm not great. I've been worse. I've been better. I could probably use a rest though.
Why don't, since it's morning, you guys, you want to just do a short rest and try to, because you could do some, I don't know, you can,
Is there a specific spell you're trying to recover?
No, my hit points got
his hit
fucking
points.
destroyed.
But when you do a rest, you can use a number of hit die, you know what I mean, to,
Dude, let's just go out at night. It'll be even better. We need the cover of darkness. Let's take a long rest.
It'll be
I'm
even. It'll be
sure
even
this town will
better.
be nice at night.
We've been discussing this now for much.
Yeah, because this place seems totally safe.
Yeah,
at
I
night.
think it'll make it
Totally.
better.
I
That's what I
agree.
mean, though.
I mean, who are you talking to?
I'd
The
say we
world.
just take a long
It'll be
rest.
even better.
Just
Let's
get
go
up,
out.
get
when
up this evening and go.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it.
we have the firepower.
All right, long rest it is.
All right. So, Eric, Blackwind, did you take the 2 Electrum out of your character sheet and pay him?
No, because it turns out that I only have gold in my inventory, so I don't. If I have
you
Electrum, but I
just
thought
convert
that all
that,
of our
right?
server had been converted to Electrum when we
Just
got here.
convert that bitch.
I must have just not done the math right. I only have 237 gold pieces, but I know that there is.
I don't
So-
I don't
so-
think that was
Party.
distributed. I think somebody picked up all the Electrum.
I think our silver was turned into Electrum when we came to the realm.
It was, but it was
Wasn't
like
it?
on the ground or something, and I don't know who picked it up. But
No, I just have gold as well.
Okay.
Is that how it's always been?
I don't
swore
recall.
that we all had some Electrum.
it might have been.
Eric says, I will also accept 2 gold pieces as the
Actually,
tab.
no, hang on, wait. No, 2 gold pieces. Hang on. I got an idea. Go away. Thanks for the drinks. You don't get anything. You fucking, what are you gonna spend it on? A new Prada purse? What are you gonna buy? Go back behind the bar.
Are you really saying that?
Is that okay?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Just
As you're
endless
saying all
surprises. I
that,
love
Go away. Like, I'm done talking about it. Go.
Eric's face goes from stone and unemotional to stone and slightly slack-jawed.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that's all the reaction you get out of him. And he goes, I will tell the matrons you didn't pay your tab. And he walks away.
I go. Wait. I'll
No,
chip in.
no.
Oh, hold on. You
I'm
really
not
want?
Sparkle, listen.
I'm talking about.
Not
Sparkle.
only is he not going to tell the matrons, you're not going to pay him. He's also not going to tell the matrons. Like, I don't want to. I don't. Oh,
Okay.
we're going to yell at us later. Yeah. No, we're good. I got it. It's on me.
I got a feeling your whole family's going down, man.
Doyle rules. All right. So Eric walks away and he goes, okay, I will tell the matrons.
I have a
you
weird
didn't pay your tab."
feeling that's going to come back to bite us in the ass. I
Yes.
just have a really weird feeling.
I hope it does.
I'm gonna chalk this up with the show your fangs. Great idea.
Eric is now cleaning glasses behind the bar. He's cleaning. He just pulls out a completely clean glass and starts wiping it down. And he starts to get into that.
Tab the whole time, and the ladies have been like, "Oh, did you pay the tab, Bismarck? Do you want to go, Sparkle? Go ahead. You can go pay him if you guys are going to freak about it."
I'm not gonna freak about it. I think it's awesome.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm
Bring-
good
bring
on
on
the
the
roots.
Cavs.
Bring on the Cavs, baby. That's it.
Give me Larry Nance in this bitch. All right. Hot rod.
Irina says, gentlemen, we're not going now. We're not leaving. We have to stay here longer. Are you guys?
Irina, do you see the big fucking bite mark in me neck? I ain't doing so good.
She says, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I know that you got between me and the vampire, and I do appreciate that.
And it was my pleasure, but I need a little bit of a break now, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yes, I understand. So when can we leave? I may run home to gather a few things if we're going to be a little bit longer.
Another 6 or 7 hours, you say?
Okay. All right. Well then, and we'll leave from here then in the mid-afternoon.
You have this dwarf's word.
Okay. All right. Great. All right then. Ismark, should we go lock up the house then before we leave and grab a few things? Ismark just sort of nods but kind of scans everybody in the party and says, all right, you guys, we're good, right? You guys are gonna be here. We're still all going together, right? This afternoon. I have your word.
Do you need me to write it in piss?
Why would you?
No, friend. That's good. We'll be back at dinner time and ready to go.
We'll see you then.
Okay.
I'm
So-
done talking about it.
Ismark and Irina leave. Eric keeps kind of like doing his thing with glasses, and you guys go take a long rest.
Yep.
All right.
When we wake up,
So-
is Eric still going to be cleaning glasses?
Of course.
You-
he is.
We'll
Or is
see.
is it now like a small pistol?
Or is it Blackman's head that he's just hollowed out? And he's just,
I think
Turns
maybe
out
I'm
I'm a
sensitive
jack-o'-lantern.
because I clean like 100 glasses a day. So like when I see him doing that, I'm like, fuck. Just put a smile on.
So you guys all go take a long rest. So go ahead and do that on your sheet. Matt, Thornton, your maximum hit points are restored.
Oof.
So one after another, everybody goes up. Spargle's the last to go up the stairs. Doesn't seem Spargle and Alaric are the most rested. Well, no, Spargle and Alaric are the least rested. Deckard's the first to go up, though. The minute anybody says something about sleeping, he says, "Yeah, all right, guys, yeah, just get me up whenever we're gonna leave. I'm gonna go." And he doesn't even finish his sentence as he walks away and goes to sleep.
Are we worried at all about what's her face and is Mark going back to their house?
Yeah, probably.
I
That
was,
a
but
little
what
weird.
else? Yeah, what else are we gonna do though? You know?
Yeah.
Just wait and make sure
Yeah,
they
yeah.
show. Unless they're just maybe it's just hard for them to believe that we want to help. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
I mean, they both mostly got a full night's rest. They're about to leave the village, and so you guys were like, it's like 9 a.m, and you guys are like, "Hey, it's time to go to bed," and they're like, "Well, we're gonna go clean up. We're gonna go, tie up any loose ends before we leave the village." Is kind of what the vibe you got from them.
Okay.
So everybody else heads up.
Yep.
Okay. You guys all grab rooms. Spargle again was the last one up.
I'm going to set my alarm.
Excluding your friends,
Yes.
excluding
Thank you for
Ismark,
asking. Yeah.
Ismark, Irina, all your friends, and you're setting it on the hallway area again.
Yeah.
What about the half-wit?
What about Eric?
I am not including. I'm not including Deckard.
Not including Deckard. Okay. So your alarm in this area that I just highlighted will go off if anybody but Spargle, Blackwind, Thornton, Alaric, Ismark, or Irina goes into it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's, 9 in the morning. You guys all go up to bed. Spargle comes up last, does his thing in the hallway, and you guys all you actually get a nice rest. It's very quiet. The bar's quiet. The tavern's quiet. Nobody's in there. So yeah, go ahead and on your sheets, take a nice long rest. I need to just double check one thing on you, Thornton. Sorry, I just want to make sure. I want to see what your maximum hit points return to. If it's everything, the reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. So Matt, your maximum hit points are back to normal.
Great.
You're good now, Big Daddy.
And everybody sort of kind of wakes up on your own. Spargle, your alarm never went off once. So in the last 7, 8 hours, nobody went up the stairs. You all got a good rest in. Who's gonna be the first to head back downstairs?
I will. I feel good.
Okay. So Thornton, you get up a little bit earlier because you, unlike Alaric and Spargle, you got a full night's rest before Doru jumped everybody. So Thornton heads down. Go ahead and move yourself wherever you want. And
Sorry.
these bitches are back. When you come down, you see they look over and the one Alenka goes. She says, "Thornton, you're still here. Eric was so confusing about what he said. It was he said you didn't pay the Electrum, but then I looked in the drawer and I saw some gold in there, and so I'm not really worried about it. But come on, let's." You want to grab a pitcher?
Maybe not this morning. We got to get out early on a little adventure.
It's
Get
David.
out! Oh, are you going to see Madame Ava?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Is-
oh.
Did Deckard not come down?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, isn't
Deckard
gold
doesn't-
so much more than Electrum?
Double.
Yeah.
Way more than double. Electrum's less than silver, isn't it?
It's like, I don't remember. It's like 5 electrums of gold or something like that.
Yeah. No, actually, Electrum's more than silver.
Electrum's like the midway point from silver and gold, I think.
Yeah, it's a really odd. Everything's like a factor of 10, except
So it's like a
Electrum.
silver dollar.
I thought this was like paying for
Yes.
like a drink with like
It's like a Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah, it's like a sack of Joya.
Sacagawea.
Sorry.
An Electrum is worth half a gold piece, so whatever Adam said was right.
It's like
Two
a silver dollar.
Electrums worth 1 gold piece. But anyhow, so they say that, and they're like, yeah, but no, Deckard does not come down.
Yeah, just leave him.
He
Is
needs
that
some
what you
rest.
would do?
You know, let's just.
Yeah, he's not well. Lock him in the fucking bathroom.
Should we lock him in there though? Should we take his crossbow?
Want to do the rope thing again?
Rope.
That's like the thing.
Come on, do the rope thing.
What's that?
But-
what
maybe
movie
we
is
should.
that? Sorry, not change subject, but isn't there a movie that somebody's always getting locked up the whole time?
Is it Home Alone?
I don't know. I'll think of it.
Is it Hangover with the Asian guy in the trunk all the time? Because that's.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
No,
But you guys don't have no reason to think that Deckard's in any trouble or anything. He just literally hasn't woken up and come down yet.
So
So
maybe
no
we
one's
should
checked
watch
on
it.
him.
He's Jackie Chan in Rush Hour. You always got to lock him to the steering wheel.
Yeah.
my daddy caught a bullet.
My daddy wants catch a bullet.
Take that badge.
Shove it up your ass.
Yeah, he was
Right up
shoving
there.
those. He was shoving those carrots down his gullet way too. I didn't feel too comfortable with that.
He had butter in his beard.
Yeah, he had butter in his beard and grease and just
Slathered in animal fat.
like duck fat and everything. It's just
He's all
disgusting.
greased up.
All right, so does somebody want to go check on him and wake him, or just leave him sleeping? It's up
Hey,
to you
half
guys.
elf, go check on the cowboy.
All right, I go up there to check on him.
All right.
Cast my mage hand to gently caress him.
Okay.
Like,
So do you open the door?
yeah.
Okay, so you open the door and you see Deckard, like the drunken fraternity guy that just went to a massive keg party the night before and is just massively hungover. His drool sprawled out all over the place, just like a fucking just hungover jock, and he's just snoring and drooling and
Is he
completely.
fully dressed?
He's fully dressed. He looks like he barely made it into the room and then just crashed.
He's like
Assless
not
chaps.
even under the covers. Like he's
Not
just-
even under the covers. He's just laying there. His equipment's still on and everything. He's just
his
loudly,
crossbow.
obnoxiously snoring.
I was
Take
just gonna say, can I take his crossbow?
Yes, and his hat. Take his cowboy hat.
And his jade frog.
I have the jade frog. He
I
gave
know.
it to me.
I know.
Remember when I got
That's right. That's right.
Very nice guy.
So you want to? Do you want to take something from him?
I mean, I'm doing this not out of not the first time I stole the frog. This is there's something wrong with him. He shouldn't have. Do we really want him to have the crossbow? No.
Oh,
So
I
I
see.
take-
I see. You're right.
Is there anything
He
special
could
about
be
this
dangerous.
crossbow?
I mean, he could be. No, but he's. He's got what? I take the crossbow.
Are you
And,
taking his? Are you taking his heavy crossbow or his hand crossbow?
Which one's better?
He tends to use his hand crossbow more, but I
So
think
you can
on
stab me
one-
in the chest at the same time, right?
Right. You remember that? You remember that?
Blackwin, can you use a heavy?
I don't know. Can anyone? Should I even not?
Do what you want, man.
I don't know.
So what you see? So you see
I'm trying to be
Deckard.
real about it. Like if he's just, I would probably take some of his shit if we're going on a mission while he's taking a nap. We're all coming back. We're all part of the same crew. Like he's not.
I mean,
hey, never see you again.
He's sprawled out like a. I mean, his room looks like a snow skier when they just have a fucking yard sale and they wipe out and there's just shit every. Like he just came into the room like a college kid coming back from the bar. It's just like a wallet there, this there, just shit everywhere. So all his stuff is just spread all over the room. So he's kind of laying back. He's wearing his leathers, his studded leathers. And he's got his whip next to him. This guy's
He does
110% S&M.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got his whip on the bed. He's got
Can I use that?
studded leathers
Can
on.
I use that?
He's you
Take his
can.
whip.
It's
Yeah,
a
I'll take
martial
it.
weapon. Okay, so you take his whip.
Because that's something
All right.
that like I can return to him. There's no arrows. It's not like, hey, I took your fucking cross. Like I know he loves horses. And like, or is his whip even more? Is that like an extension of his dick? Like I don't know. Psychologically, I don't want to be.
No. So are you doing this? Are you doing this with your ghostly hand? Or are you doing this physically?
No, I'm in the room, dude. I'm just.
All right, you're just rummaging around. Okay, so first of all, make a stealth check.
Oh shit!
Oh, God, I'm gonna get fucking killed
You're gonna
again.
get caught. He's gonna fucking wake up.
And stealth is plus-
Take his gimp mask.
Oh shit! He rolled a 20, bro. He's
Who
gonna
did?
wake up.
I'll give you advantage because of the state of Deckard, and you got to roll a 20 out of one of these two, or you're fucked.
No.
Oh.
So you got a 15 plus your thing. So you go to you kind of walk into the room and you go to
malicious.
you go to grab the whip, the first thing that you see, and a floorboard goes, and Deckard goes, and he starts rubbing the fat back into his mouth and eating it because he's half awake, and then he kind of looks up and he realizes, and he looks up and he goes, what you doing there, Warlock? What the hell are you doing in my room, boy?
What you doing in my room, boy? Sir, we all have to go out. I thought I could use your whip. Is that all right if I take your whip just for tonight and I'll bring it right? You gotta sleep, and we're gonna bring you some more fat vegetables.
Make a deception check. Wait, did you say fat vegetables?
Yeah.
All right, make it with advantage. He's really into those.
He's
fat
really into
vegetables.
Lots.
He loves the animal fat slathered Bavarian
What
roots.
does with advantage mean? I get to do it twice.
Twice. Roll D20 twice. Deception.
Oh.
There it is. There it is.
I don't
All right,
even.
you don't need to. You don't need to roll your second one. He goes. Oh, you got more. You got more of the. Take the whip.
Take the
Take the whip.
And he starts snoring again. And the drool. The drool looks like a stream of like clear drool with like every few seconds just this like congealed like fat and like meat things just kind of sliding along. And just completely disgusted, you grab the whip. What else would you like to do?
Is he going to be a werewolf or something? I returned to my friends. I got what I came for. I'm not going to press my luck. I got 20 on that.
All right, you can take a whip. You now have a regular whip, and you walk back down the stairs to the sound of Deckard snoring behind you. You close the door.
I tug on your sleeve, Blackwin. I'm just like, oh, what happened?
He's sleeping. I talked to him. I told him that we were going to bring him some fat vegetables, and that's what we're going to do.
Is he still acting scary?
No, he's just really tired. He he seems like maybe he ate something or drank too much, and I've got he gave me his. You can see this, so it shows that we had a good transaction and that everything's square. Everything's fine.
Everything's clean, kosher.
Yep. I
So
totally didn't take it without him knowing because he would always see that. You know what I'm saying?
as you're talking to Alaric at the sort of base of the stairs here, Ismark and Irina walk in. It's now about 4 p.m. Everybody but Deckard is back down. The three gypsy Vistani women owners of the bar are kind of sitting around and looking at you guys. Irina and Ismark walk in and they go, "Well, does everybody get their beauty rest? Are you guys ready to head out of here?"
Oh yeah, let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
I'm totally right.
Okay. All right. So nothing else you guys want to do in town before you follow Ismark? Because he's sort of now saying, all right, guys, well, you can follow me.
I follow him.
Okay.
Likewise.
All right. Anybody disagree?
Nope.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Let's do that.
Were you gonna say something, Matt?
No, I'm good.
All right. So this time, you guys are following Ismark rather than him following you, and he starts to he walks out of the Blood on the Vine Tavern towards the center of town, which you guys have been to a few times. But this time he turns to the right, which heads west. So you guys came in from the east, those big gates and everything. When you first landed in Barovia, you kind of came into that side of the village. He now kind of makes like a little left hook and starts heading towards that side of town. And he says, and as they're walking, Ismark and Irina are kind of walking close together, leading the pack, and they're kind of he's got his arm around Irina, and she keeps kind of whispering things to him as they're walking out. But eventually, you kind of leave the town, and you see that sort of if you remember when you came in, it was a mud path that turned into a little bit of a cobblestone that led you to the village of Barovia. That cobblestone continues, but now into more of a formal, like, structured road. So this is a lot more I don't want to say well maintained, but it looks a lot more like a road rather than just random stones and mud. So you're making pretty good time. As you start to move, it's late in the afternoon. It's still misty, which is odd for this time of day, but it's not that black fog that you've seen before. This is more of a sort of natural, thick fog. It's white instead of black. It's kind of hovering low to the ground. It just feels like it's if you remember going to like Brandywine Golf Course and you go way back down into the ravine there, and there's just this like little bit of a mist around the ground. It doesn't seem threatening or anything. It's just the environment.
I like
Makes
that,
sense.
Brandywine.
I know exactly what you're talking about too, especially if you went there early.
So it's kind of a nice vibe, is what you're saying.
It's a nicer vibe than you felt before. The temperature's ticked up enough degrees, just slightly enough that instead of being a little bit cold and just uncomfortable, you're now a little bit more warm, and it's the most comfortable it's felt in a while. But despite that, as you guys are walking along this path, and let me know if there's anything that you want to be doing as you're traveling. Also, what's your just general sort of marching order? At the beginning, to get out of town and onto the path, Irina and Ismark was leading Irina, and you guys were kind of following as a pack. If anybody wants to step in front of them and lead, you can. But otherwise, what's your marching order?
I'll be in front.
Okay.
I'm right behind him.
I'll take up the rear. I do want to say I'm suspicious as it becomes nice. just that's my demeanor. Like I feel like it's almost a little too good to be true.
Too good to be true. Yeah.
Kinda,
Okay, so you're being extra
Like,
cautious because
I'm-
you're not sure of.
Right, it's
You
like
don't.
an
You don't.
like-
bel
I should be feeling more relieved, but I feel like my reaction is like an inverse. But I'm keep contained. I guess I'm saying that more in case I have like a chance to like inspect something or something. Like
I get it.
I'm
so
more,
you're not relaxed and letting your guard down and comfortable.
Nah, this
you're
seems
more
this seems
vigilant and aware.
weird. Yeah, like
Okay.
that it's
So
that easy.
So sort of single file. We got Ismark and Irina, who are always very close to each other, and kind of almost Ismark kind of guarding her. Then in single file, Alaric, then Thoradin. Spargle, where are you kind of fitting?
I don't
into
care. I'll
the
just kind of
procession?
merge in the middle. Since he's taking the end, I guess I'll go right in front of Blackwind then.
Can we not
Okay.
hear what they're saying to each other? Like I know that there are a couple of us. Can we? I mean, how far away are they that they can like have a conversation that we're privy to? Right?
So Alaric is right behind them. So if he were, Blackwind, you're quite a bit back, but go ahead and make a insight check with disadvantage if you want to hear what they're saying.
Okay. What does disadvantage mean for me?
Just roll a d20 twice, and you add your insight modifier to both, and take the lower of the two.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta pull up my.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Perception, not insight.
Oh.
They may be the same, but
Yeah, perception's also +3.
Oh. Well, that's going to probably be the lower of the two, I would think.
That's a bummer.
So you can't make out anything that they're saying.
You can't even hear yourself.
At one
I'll do that
point,
thing where like
hey-
if I plug my ears, I'm like, God, I hear mine.
Spargle, you're just kind of walking along. You know, you're right below like Alaric, who's like towering over you, and Thoradin, who's about your height but twice your width, and you're just kind of like bouncing along behind them. And all of a sudden, Spargle, you realize that Blackwind his head is literally like in your neck, he's craning, trying to listen to Ismark and Irina. It really kind of freaks you out for a second. But Blackwind, you hear nothing. And you realize you just totally encroached on your buddy's personal space there.
I like the idea of
I'm
like
really
you're
sorry
trying
about that.
you're trying really hard to listen, like trying hard to eavesdrop, but you're plugging your ears. Like, you're like, I really want to hear, but I can't hear anything.
You're like trying to go like this, but you're going like this.
No, I look down at Spargle because Spargle's looking up at me weird, and I said,
Yeah, he's
"If I
looking.
ever offer you any kind of fungi, say no."
They offer me any kind of fungi? Is that what you said?
I just nod.
Okay. I just kind of scratch my head and like I'm trying to figure out what that's supposed to mean, and I don't. But I'll take your word for it.
He looks back, and I'm popping either like a mushroom cap or a spider's just legless body into my mouth. Who really knows?
Sometimes you got to go candy flipping and do both. All right, so yeah, you didn't Blackwind. You don't make out at all what they're saying, but the party continues down the path. Eventually,
I'm sorry. Just one more time. I guess my original question was just like, how far ahead of us are they that we couldn't make it out without having to do a roll check at all? Just in terms of like, what's like the general in the rules, the conversation where like, are they whispering? I mean, don't dwarves, and also I'm assuming Adam has heightened hearing. I don't know.
Dwarves have all.
Huh?
Dwarves have horrible hearing.
Oh,
Okay, so the way it works is since they're trying to be quiet,
it
you
requires a
can't.
check.
Since they're trying to be quiet, like you can't really hear them more than a few feet away without a check.
Okay.
So there's rules in here about how far like sound carries and stuff like that. But
All right,
since they're whispering to each other, you need to make some kind of like extra perceptive check to sort of pick up on what they're saying.
I'm not like
that's all.
suspicious. I just want to know like they seem, because I think Sparkle, you noted on.
It's fine. You think that Dan's making it up as he goes? It's fine.
No,
It's fine. No, that's
I
cool.
want to make sure we don't walk into something.
It's all right.
I think I will say that I am trying to scan the woods a little bit here, just like make sure. Ever since we've gotten into this town, and for me, for the second time here, I don't know. I'm nervous.
Okay.
Particularly when we're outdoors.
Go ahead and make a perception check, Sparkle.
A perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay. You don't notice anything abnormal from the woods, but you also kind of, just because you're paying attention to everything, realize that Ismark and Irina are huddled up and kind of whispering to each other as they walk quite a bit.
Okay. Okay.
Now I'm going to continue to move you guys along unless you think there's anything that unless you tell me like, hey, I want to pause and do something else. So I'm just going to kind of like, for the sake of overland travel, keep moving you along. Eventually you come, the road reaches a bridge, a stone bridge that crosses about a 20-30 foot wide river. Seems similar to the river that you guys kind of scoped out as you were coming to the village of Barovia. I don't know if you remember, but you diverged from the road and kind of went south through like a swampy, muddy area and ran into a river, and then you decided to sort of hook back up to the road. This seems, from your basic sense of direction and whatnot, to be the same river, just further to the west than what you found. And
Exactly.
this river is very clear. It's like clear as a blue winter sky. So it's like what you would imagine, like a fresh, clean glacier melting down into this just perfect river. You don't see much animal life in it. You don't even see much vegetation around it. It's just a very clear, clean water.
Can I bathe in it?
You can.
I would like to get naked and bathe in it.
It's cold. So yeah, you strip off your clothes. Thornton just suddenly, like, everybody's kind of marching along. You get up to this little bridge, and Thornton just beelines down to the bank, strips off his clothes, and just starts jumping into this water. Thornton, you
Buck
feel
naked?
I'd like to do the same, but I would like to also ask that he does not relieve himself.
I won't.
Downstream.
I will not. Yep.
This is
No,
a
I
bathing.
won't. I don't want to corrupt the water with my, defecation and,
I appreciate that.
So Thornton and Blackwind go down to the river, and it's cold. It's really
Right.
cold. It's like
Washing
taking
each other.
breath away cold. It's like jumping into the shower with it cranked to cold, and it
Like broke
takes a
back
second. But it is very refreshing after that. You feel this just grime and just sort of just the stench and just sort of just nastiness of Barovia a little like melt away a little bit.
right. Plus 5 to damage for the rest of the campaign.
No,
Right, well,
but
Gain 5 frost resistance for 30 minutes.
Maybe plus 1 to charisma.
plus 5 to farts.
I was gonna say Irina might find you a little more palatable at this point.
Yeah, I make sure I wash my hair and I scrub my beard because I'm a little creeped out by.
What about your
Fat.
taint? Did you get that?
Oh,
Yeah, get
there's
the
no
hair
hair.
hairs.
Oh. Oh. Lemons?
No, when I take a handful of leaves,
Half elves don't hit puberty till 60, so he's still waiting on that.
Oh, that's right.
I don't even have a gray hair. I'm not bald.
I offered to scrub Deckard to Blackwind's back.
Oh,
Okay, so you guys see this whole Brokeback Mountain scene going on down at the river, and the rest of you are
Thornton's
like,
pregnant.
You gotta do
It's
your
weird.
voice. You gotta do your voice. No, we're gonna play the scene out. We're not skipping over this. You said what now, lad? Wait,
Lad, let me get your back. You seem to have missed a spot.
oh, thanks, bud.
Oh, yeah,
Seems
you don't
like you
seem
really enjoyed
uncomfortable
that.
or anything. Yeah.
What are you using? Like you're using like your huge baseball mitt.
My huge
hand?
calloused dwarf hands. They're
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's
exfoliating
like a
your back.
loofah.
Yeah.
I walk over to Lark and I just tug on his sleeve. I'm like, I think they're gonna play hide the wand.
No, I let you do that. My back, yeah,
Yeah, that's all.
and you shampoo my hair.
And you shampoo my hair.
I didn't agree
What
to
a
that.
sentence.
I didn't agree to
No.
that.
Let me
There's
tell
a
you what you're
snail.
gonna do.
No, there's a no. Listen, Daddy. No, there's a snail on the shore, and I crush it, and the goo I use it to shampoo my hair. And you do it. I mix it with a tadpole.
And
Rule
you
number
do it.
one. Rule number one. Will Lyle said day one. You can't tell other people what they do. That you can't you can't do that.
That's true.
That is true. That is true.
You have to ask him.
But
if he'll
but you
wash
are
your
welcome
hair
to
with snail
crush
guts.
local crustaceans and use them as your conditioner.
Now, actually, going forward, you'll see that Blackwind does not harm any creature unnecessarily, including he'll never eat another spider. Anything that's alive.
Besides Eric the bartender, you harmed his soul.
What do you mean?
You hurt his feelings.
That dude's
Like,
borderline animal. Let's be serious.
And you called him a half-wit a bunch of times.
I'm sorry, he's possessed. You don't think that he's like Strahd's talking to him or something?
No,
In
dude,
some
he has
way?
Asperger's. That's all he
He's
has.
just really old and wore out, man. He's just trying to make a buck.
He's seen some
He's
shit.
threatened
You were
to take
really mean
away-
to him.
All right, I guess I'm not being chaotic neutral anymore.
Does
So
Blackwood say
Blackwood-
that? Is that?
All right.
Blackwood and Thoradin have their moment down in
I
the
didn't mean to be mean to
river.
No, I feel bad.
Ivlis.
feel bad.
Had a rough day.
Dick feels
Um,
like corn.
Huh?
Nothing.
What did you say? No, say it again.
I said my dick feels like corn.
Oh.
as you guys are kind of like whatever the fuck you're doing down in this river, I'm not gonna extrapolate. Irina and Ismark decide to just sort of like sit kind of near the edge of the bridge. So Blackwood and Thoradin go down and they rinse themselves off and then do some whatever they're doing and then probably have to rinse themselves off again.
No.
No, can I talk to
But-
Irina? Can I talk to
Yeah.
Irina?
Well, you're down at the river, but you want to get
When I go back.
cleaned up and go back up? Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So-
while they're doing that, I do want to talk to Irina and Ismark.
Okay, so while Thoradin and Blackwind go down and wash off in this river, and besides it being brutally cold, it really is a refreshing, clean, maybe the cleanest, clearest water you've ever really encountered. It has no smell of like algae or anything. It's just crisp. But Spargle, you walk over and while that's going on, Irina and Ismark, they just kind of like they're just kind of like chilling, and now it starts to seem like Irina is real like kind of to herself, and Ismark has his arm around her and he keeps trying to like say things to her. So you walk up, Spargle,
Yeah.
okay, and Ismark looks up a little bit. Irina's head is still down, her hair kind of coming around her head as she's just sort of slumped over, and he looks up at you and kind of nods.
Okay. I'm just like, you guys okay?
Ismark kind of gives you this look and nods a little bit, and he says, he looks at Irina, he looks back up, and he says, "You sure?" You hear him say, "Are you sure?" And she nods, and he says, "We're fine. We'll be okay." He says, "But it's just that Irina's never left the village. And in her entire life, everything she can remember, she's been in the village of Barovia, so she's just getting a little freaked out."
How old is
How old is she? Like
18
18 or 35?
Are you asking her, or you want to know
why don't
based
you
on
ask
her
her?
I want to
appearance?
gauge.
25.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
20, okay.
No. We're gonna go
That's
back
fine.
to how you
could give
described her.
so 30 or 20, whatever, somewhere in the middle there.
30 or 20.
That's fine.
What would you have described her as before we had to make any kind? I can do guidance. Hey, we want to find out exactly how old she is.
Let's just ask her.
Do you know anything about this
Well,
town that we're going to?
I wanted to ask her about Eric, so I don't want to be like, "Hey, how old are you?" It's weird. I've been weird enough. The guy who eats
Okay.
spiders is like, "Hey, how old are you?"
So Spargle, are you asking anything about her age, or Alaric? Alaric, from your judgment, she's a mid-20s.
Okay, that's fine. I was just
Sorry, I don't mean to. You're hammering. I'm just gonna ask the next question. I'll ask him is just like, do they know anything about this town we're going to?
Ismark, Irina just doesn't really look up, but Ismark says, he looks at you, and he kind of almost gives you this like sort of sheepish look where he's like, I don't know a lot. We've been rather secluded here, but everyone's always said that Vallaki has just got strong walls and a good guard, and I've never heard of any of Strahd messing with anybody there. So, for ever since all this stuff started with my sister, I thought that would be the safest place to take her. I'm sorry, that's all I know. If we
She still
can,
looks just kind of like upset and stuff.
yeah, she just looks like she's a little freaked out.
I tell her, these guys are sometimes a little gross, and they can be a little weird, but they're good. They're good guys. They'll get you there.
Make a charisma check.
I don't think I'm very charismatic.
Do we have
like
any
that.
kind of
We'll get you
gauge of how big Barovia is? I know we've been there and been around and stuff, but
I look at it like the
No,
size
not
of,
yet.
like,
no,
Adam.
like-
not yet.
Nope.
Okay.
15.
A 15. So quickly to answer your question, Adam, you are starting now that you've come out of this village. This is the first time you've seen sort of into what I would call like the Vale or the valley, and just from the horizon, which is really all you can see, tree line and horizon. You're still surrounded by tree. This path that you're on. You're crossing a stone river, but otherwise there's just trees, very tall trees kind of surrounding every direction. But you've seen enough glimpse that the vale or the valley that you're in seems to carry on for beyond the horizon.
Okay.
So you get the sense that you've only seen a very small fraction of the area that you're in.
Okay.
Spargo, you were trying to detect what from her?
I was just telling her. You told me to do a charisma check.
Wait,
You guys
based
tell
on
them that
what
we'll get them there safe. I said, these guys are weird and they can be a little gross. but-
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah,
We'll
and
get
she
you there.
says she looks up, she whispers another thing to Ismark when you say that, and then he says, "All right, let's keep going. I want to talk to you guys real quick." He says that to you, Spargo. He says, he goes, I think she's good. Let's keep going, but can I talk to you guys for a second?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So Irina kind of just like robotically starts to return to the path. as the party starts moving forward. Is anybody sticking back by this bridge and river? Or are you guys all kind of following Irina and
Following.
Sparkle? Okay. So as you're following, Ismark kind of turns around. Irina now is just sort of like on her own, just walking forward. She seems okay based on what Sparkle just said. And Ismark turns and says, hey guys, I hate to ask this because you've done so much already, but I'm having a rough time with Irina. I don't know if I've explained her whole history, but she doesn't remember a lot of her childhood, and the only thing that she really knows of is the village we just left. This is the first time in her entire life that she's left the village. She's been with my father. He raised her. They were very close. And she's just a little freaked out. He says, you guys have some crazy stories and various backgrounds, and you've been clearly traveled a much wider area than this small vale. Maybe while we're kind of cruising along this trail, you could entertain her a little bit or distract her so that she doesn't to comfort her a little bit as on our travels. So what we're gonna do is a bit of a sort of a thing where first of all I'd like the four of you to roll initiative. No modifiers though. This is a straight up D20.
Okay.
Oop.
Oop.
Oh, I know. I guess I did it right. I meant to open something else. Pooh.
All right. So what? All right. So out of character. What Bismarck, what Ismark is asking you to do is you guys. He knows you guys have another good half day's worth of travel before you get anywhere interesting. He would like each of you to do something, tell a story, perform an act, do a thing that you think would entertain his sister and distract her from being a little bit agoraphobic, let's say, or a little bit freaked out by the fact that she's left, to try to just comfort her. So I got to take a quick break to piss. But when we get back, we're going to go Spargle, Alaric, Blackwin, and then Thoradin. And it's basically a skill challenge where I want you to say what you would do to try to calm or entertain or distract Irina. And it's going to be
the most scared I've been in this game. So.
And based on what you say, it's going to be a difficulty check with one of your abilities. So kind of you might want to plan it for what you're good at, and I'll explain kind of how it goes from there. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I'm gonna pee too and think about.
So remember,
All right.
Crocus, you just want it to be a thing that involves your character and what he's good at, right? Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna like make a roll on something and whatever, right? So you're gonna try to like do a thing, whether it's.
I know, but what sucks is that I'm good at deception, intimidation, and persuasion.
But see, that's fine because whatever you're good at, you can use that. You could twist it, right? You could tell a story about how you got into an inn because you were so deceptive. You know, you were able to trick the guards, and then you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better example. So you can make it anything that you want, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. We've done this before in our other campaigns, so don't think that you need to like, you know, spit out 3 pages worth of shit. Just whatever sounds good to you that your character would have.
Guitar on stream, you know, you just fucking.
Yeah, or you could play guitar.
Adam, this is a little bit. This is something I invented, so it's not exactly it's not a skill challenge. Like, but same idea though.
Animals in the place.
You don't see any animals in like your immediate area. As you're walking, you see like there's occasionally you almost always hear wolves in the distance. You see birds and stuff kind of flying in the distance, but it's like if you were at the Metro Parks, there's not like just chipmunks and squirrels just resting at your feet as you walk along.
That sucks. I needed 14 chipmunks. All right, I'm gonna poop. I got it. But I'm freaking out. Bear back.
All right. If you guys want, Adam, especially Adam, since you asked, I'll explain this little system that I created after the fact.
Okay, that's fine. But still, I'm trying to do a thing, right? Like it's basically what I've known before, right?
Yeah, it's very, very similar to a skill challenge. I just sort of came up with something a little different. But yeah, the idea is Irina seems down. She's freaked out that she's left her home for the first time in her life. And Ismark is asking you guys to perk her up.
Okay. Matt, I'm going to text you. Okay? I'm just going to explain to you what I'm going to do.
Wait, we're supposed to do it independently, right? Not like a plan. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just he's
No, I just want to make sure I'm not wasting time when I should be. You know what I mean?
The scene is, this is a far walk. So the thing is, you guys are going to be walking for a while, right? So as you're kind of walking, as you'd imagine, as you're walking from, yep,
Hello.
yep, hear you. As you're walking for a while, you know, it's just like, you know, how, like if you were like in a Boy Scout, like, you know, at a big long hike, you know, people kind of like move up to the front, talk to somebody, move to another group. You know, you're just like chit chatting and bouncing back and forth in this little procession. Yo.
welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey there.
They made some changes, Will, if you're still there. To Twitch Prime. I'm sure that's what you had. Now there's ads. So basically, if you don't want ads, you have to buy Twitch Turbo again, like we used to years ago.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can hear me right now.
I can hear you right now.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so I can talk to you through my MacBook, but for some reason, while I went to the bathroom, my headphones stopped working. I don't understand.
Oh,
Maybe because like the
that
plug
sucks.
came out and then it like switched to device or something.
No, there's no. I don't have anything else. I'm gonna try plugging it in again because I know I have the answer.
Hello.
Hey.
That's better.
Actually sounds pretty good. Sounds better than you did before.
That sucks.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's all good, Willie. Do your thing, man.
Coming out of my computer.
All right, so the group continues to trudge along the trail, and the road forms into more of a formal brick cobblestone road, but it kind of dips in and out. So you have patches where it's like very good, and you're like, man, I could have like three carriages or wagons wide just cruising down here like a highway. And then sometimes it dips into like a bunch of broken up cobblestone and mud and stuff. But for the most part, it's a very easy to follow road. You're traveling about another half a day, so it's starting to get a little dark. It was starting to get dark when Spargle and Ismark were starting to talk about Irina and her being a little bit freaked out. And so Ismark turned around and asked all you guys, hey, can you help out my sister a little bit? Just anything to take her mind off of, being away from home, and anything you can do to comfort her. So Alaric, holy shit, wait, we got props. We got a whole stage getting set up here at New Jersey.
What?
In New Jersey.
All right. But Alaric, you're the one that's sort of up front, right behind them, and you hear this first. And so, what do you do?
And we're
if anything, you don't have to do anything.
No, but we're all kind of like in a group, right?
Yeah, you're in a pretty tight pack.
So I'm going to, I believe, Thornton was like right behind me. If we're still in that like pecking order. I'm gonna turn around, and he's gonna kind of know what I'm.
He's got a sword.
He's gonna
a real sword. He's got actual talon. All right, go ahead.
He's gonna know what I'm hinting at, and I'm gonna say, hey Thornton, I really can't figure out a good voice for my orc. I always just try to end up being like really soft spoken and studious. But it's just like me trying to not be an asshole. So I can't come up with anything good, so sorry.
So I don't want to put anything in your head, so I don't even know if I should say this. But when I think of your orc, I think of the World of Warcraft cinematic with Gul'dan and when he says times change, friend. When he Garrosh.
Yeah.
Garrosh's voice is what I think of when
study that.
I don't know.
My only issue was with it, because he is half orc, is that he really, really, really doesn't want to be half orc. Right? He's very embarrassed by it. We've talked about this before. He's embarrassed by his orc heritage, so he's tried his whole life to sound like a human. I just need to find that happy medium where like I'm still a little gruff at times. No. Anyways, I can do that another time. So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to kind of nudge Thornton and say, hey, I'm going to say, hey friend, you want to spar? And when I say that to him and I look at him and I kind of look at our, Ismark and his sister, and he's going to kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to do. Like I'm going to try to put on a little bit of a show.
Cool.
So, me and Thornton are going to... We're just going to kind of have some sword play, I guess. And my whole goal here is, as long as I can be successful with it, is to prove my worth in battle and kind of be a show-off. Because, I guess, out of character or whatever, in this sense, my character spent a lot of time fighting in slave pits growing up. Like his whole childhood, so he's really good at fighting. Obviously, I mean he's a barbarian, but I'm trying to show how I'm trying to be Neo in the Matrix, right? So I'm getting
showing
how I can
Knight's.
chop
You ever
his
see
head
Knight's
off.
Tale?
Mm-hmm.
Getting a Knight's Tale
No, I
kind of
haven't seen
vibe.
Knight's
Right?
Tale.
Oh, all right, never mind. But this is good. I like this. Okay, all right. So you're just trying to
So I'm not-
show off your
I'm not gonna attack.
your skill.
I'm not attacking, right?
Sparring.
So
You're
I'm gonna
sparring.
exactly. So I'm gonna have like my sword out. He can have his weapon out. However, we're gonna do it. And my whole goal is to not once make a strike at him, but just parry every single thing that I possibly can. And every time that I do, or maybe after I do a couple times, and I kind of make it seem like this is too easy for me, I want to just glance at our two new friends and just like give them a reassuring kind of wink or look or something like that.
Okay.
If that makes
All
sense.
right,
So
yep.
performance check again. If this is how this is all going to work.
Yeah, let me see real quick. So I'm gonna say a performance check sounds good. Yeah, go ahead. I'd say roll it with a performance. Yeah, roll a performance check.
Okay.
Now, Thoradin, are you playing along with this, or are you trying to make yourself look good and show him up by actually countering effectively and trying to show off yourself? Or are you letting yourself look?
Is Alaric just defending my blows? Is that what he's doing, or is he striking back?
I'm not striking.
Right. So let's put it this way: he's that good where I can try my best, and I won't be able to get him.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So just go ahead and roll a straight up performance check with your modifier.
13.
13. Okay. All right. So you roll up and you start. You like kind of pull out your sword and you say like "on guard" to Thoradin, and he starts throwing these blows at you, right?
Mhm.
And you almost without any effort just sort of start knocking them away, like again, sort of Matrix style. You look over your shoulder at Irina. She looks up at you as this is all happening, and she definitely seems distracted from her sort of internal struggle, and she looks up with a peak of interest, where she's like kind of watching this, like almost with a bit of like concern at first, like what the fuck, these guys are killing each other. Once she realizes it's a friendly sparring, she gets this sort of smirk and definitely seems distracted from what she was doing before.
Good.
All right. So Spargle, you've seen this happen. You see Irina kind of stop and turn around. These two are sort of sparring with each other. But it sticks in your head that Ismark was like, hey, all of you, if there's anything you can do to kind of keep her distracted, I would really appreciate it.
Okay. So I don't have any kind of skill like that, but what I do is you see me, I say something in some kind of like some arcane type of verbiage, and I make some types of motion, and then I reach into my bag and I pull out a small flute as I'm using doing an illusion to create a small rabbit in a red jacket, and I'll start playing a little gnomish tune on my pan flute while the rabbit will twirl and dance, and then we come up to Irina and bow and then disappear.
All right. Okay. So performance as well?
Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah, I think that's performance. There's some magical thing that you're doing there, but I think the performance check's good. And it's straight up.
Oh. Not a very
All
good
right.
tune.
All right, yeah, right. So you start doing that, and Irina, she moves from being really impressed by this martial prowess of like her two defenders, showing off how ample they are at keeping her protected, and then she looks over and she sees this gnome with this pan flute, and he's putting this red and she just sort of looks kind of cross-eyed and freaked out a little bit. Just kind of like steps back and goes, "It's okay. It's cute. That guy's cute, but okay. Maybe you're making a little bit of a distraction or a little bit of a commotion here. We should be quiet. And she seems a little bit.
Oh, are they still sparring?
No, they had finished.
Oh, okay.
And then so she moved her eyes from that over to your
Right.
entertainment, and she seems a little bit like kind
Careful
of.
excuse at it.
She seems a little bit worried that you're causing. You're drawing attention to where you guys are, but based on it. So she went from uneasy to a little bit more at ease to now back to her uneasiness. Now Blackwin, you now have seen all this happen, and you're trying to. You heard Ismark say, "What can you do to kind of entertain my sister or distract her?" So what would you like to do, if anything? You are no, you're in the very back at this point. So the group's all kind of together, but you're in the back of the group.
I want to come up next to her.
Okay. Her and Ismark, who are kind of like standing there up at the front, kind of watching everybody. You walk up.
Yeah, I just approach kind of subtly and. Do I have to like? Is it expected like she's waiting for each one of us to like talk to her?
No, actually, at this point, if you don't do anything sort of immediate, she just starts to turn and solemnly walk along the path with her brother.
So we're also moving during all.
Yeah. I mean, Thoradin and Alaric stopped and kind of goofed around for a minute, and she kind of was like, that was cool. And then you guys went a few more feet, and Spargle was like, hey, look at this. And she's like, don't do that. She's like, you're going to, just fucking wolves and vampires are going to attack us if you do that. So,
Right. So
now
I'll keep walking, and I'll come up next to the both of them, and I want to tell them that I had spent 10 years of my life inside of a barn, and when I came outside, I was very scared as well. But now it feels so good that I would never go back, even if I could.
as you're
how scary it is just to be outside.
So as you're saying this, Irina, her eyes lock on yours, and she says, really? She says, yeah, I hate to admit it, but I don't remember anything outside of that village. My father was a good man. He treated me really well, but he was really, really protective. And I just, for whatever reason, don't remember anything about my childhood. But I know you've traveled very far from your homeland. So if you've made it this far, maybe I'm just being a little silly here. So go ahead and make a charisma roll with advantage.
Okay.
Or persuasion, whatever you think is better. Or whatever is better on your stat sheet.
Persuasion. Yeah, I was gonna try and persuade.
Okay.
I'm sorry, since I'm streaming the video, my laptop's a little slow.
No, that's fine.
Shit.
No, that's pretty good. You rolled a 16?
Yeah.
You get to roll with advantage, so you get to roll another one too if you want.
Okay.
But that's pretty good too.
There we go.
So as she said,
the,
she's
the,
like,
the
wow.
idea I just want to telegraph to her is that just like being outside is scary at first because you don't really know what's going on.
You're trying to relate to her situation. You're telling her like, hey, I get you. I've been there before, and look at me now. And she does. She's like, this is a person who isn't even from my lands, who's here. He's comfortable. He seems okay. I'm only miles from my home. I should be okay too. And you see her really perk up after you say that. And she looks around. She looks at the huge Alaric and the magical powers around her and the well-equipped Thoradin and her brother who's right next to her. And you see her just sort of almost this like look in her eye, like, why am I being so silly? I'm surrounded. I'm safer here than I ever was. So she's looking a lot more chipper than she was at the beginning now. So Thoradin, you've seen this. You guys walk. If you want, you can do something immediately, or you can wait another half hour or so as you guys are walking down the road. But you've definitely seen Irina perk up a lot.
So yeah, I mean, I run past her and I just sparred with Alaric, so like I'm out of breath. And I say, "Oh, could we just take a minute breather here? Is that okay if we just pause for a minute and sit down, please?"
And you say that to Irina or Ismark or just everybody? Everybody. Irina and Ismark are like, "Oh, yes. I forgot that you have to do twice as much legwork as we do to go the same distance. So yes, let's take a break. I'm so sorry." And Ismark starts busting open his backpack for some food and stuff.
So Irina, what have you heard about? What do you know? What have you heard?
She kind of almost starts to blush, and she says, "I'd never even heard of a dwarf before I met you. I don't mean that to offend, because you've been a great companion."
Oh, no offense, none taken. Have you heard how good drinking ale, though?
Oh, Jesus Christ. She says, no, I haven't. We don't get much ale in Barovia. Jesus.
I'm going to regret this.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Definitely roll an advantage on this.
Oh, let me show you how good the dwarves are at drinking ale.
What are you actually popping over? Are those actual beers? Oh my God! Don't do it! Oh my God! This is like Lord of the Rings. This is like a scene out of like Lord of the Rings meets WWF.
The dedication.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
That's 4 ales in 30 seconds, Irina.
Her eyes are wide as saucers. She watches you just slam these drinks down, doesn't know where they're even going. Hey, at least you got your down comforter out to surround you and soak up all the ale. But
God, I was dying.
She is just staring sort of wide-eyed at you, and she's like, I didn't think you could consume that much. So go ahead and roll performance check with advantage for sure. Actually, let's say, you know what? I'm gonna say, let's instead of advantage, roll a performance check and add your Constitution modifier.
Okay. It's the same thing. All right.
Does he have to roll after that?
No. Roll it. Yeah. Right. Same thing. Roll advantage +2.
Nice. Of course, that's what would happen.
But that you got a 12 though.
Yeah.
All right. That was actually enough. Thank God. After that display, I'd felt terrible if you just wasted 4 beers and ruined your family room floor for nothing. Irina is just like she is so bedazzled by this just display of craziness. She almost like she
I'm so
she
glad
is
that's recorded.
kind of giggling a little bit. It almost seems like you guys have broken down a wall with her, and that she's now like almost this sigh of relief, or this sort of just like letting her guard down, where she's just sort of like, these guys are all right, like these guys aren't just in it for, they're not after me, they're not after money, they're just good people.
Some of us might be after you.
May still be after her, but she doesn't know. So she perks up quite a bit. She stops the whispering to her brother. Her shoulders are now back a little bit. Her hood is back. She keeps sort of like combing through her hair. I know I gave you the sort of sexy picture of Irina, but now that
You did. Don't go back. Don't give us.
No. I want to show you though that as you're traveling now, she's not as much a damsel in distress. She has you see now that she has some some armor and some sort of composure to her, and she seems a lot more just sort of upright and stable,
and
than she
like
did
my
before.
future wife. Yep, got it.
And like, yes, she's like a perfect cross between Kate Beckinsale and that chick from Agents of Shield.
Oh,
I got
my
a pay-
God.
What's her name? Ariana Polanski
yeah,
or
she's amazing.
Palacki. When I think of Irina, it's a combination of Kate Beckinsale and that chick
I
from Agents
couldn't
of Shield.
think of a
Dan,
better
are
woman
you-
to
are
fantasize
you an
about.
artist?
Sorry, wife.
I'm
What,
gonna
Kirkus?
pee and get changed. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
No,
Yeah.
no, you have to sit. No, we're
I
being
will.
real now. Just sit
Thanks
in
for
the beer.
stopping by.
I'm gonna wait till Matt gets back because now there's a thing.
Well, now I'm debating. Like I peed like 15 minutes ago.
Go for it.
Squeeze another one out.
It's fine. It's just gonna be me sitting here eating cashews.
I'm eating some kind of Tex-Mex nut mix. It's good.
That's always good. I love nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Adam, do
Yep.
you have any open for an oil change this week?
Yeah, I do. We're not that busy.
Is that true?
I could do any day. Tomorrow would be bad, but
Oh, good, because tomorrow's bad for me. But Thursday.
yeah, I could do Thursday. Oh, does that mean you want me to write it on the schedule?
Um.
Don't forget, you could always just bring it in one morning and take my truck and, do it at our leisure.
Right. Yeah.
That
Like I
help?
don't need. Yeah. I'll. I work tomorrow morning 9:45 to.
Or we could do it a day when you don't work or something, and you could just sit there and wait. So, whatever you want to do.
Well, if I do it on a day that I don't have to work, I can just hang out, And I'm gonna be back around the corner,
When is that officially happening?
December 22nd.
Okay. Are you gonna start watching Mandalorian with me and Dan?
Yeah,
Ooh.
I've watched the first 3 episodes.
Okay, we're current, so whenever, you just let us know.
Yeah.
Do you get into Rick and Morty or no? You don't like animated stuff, right?
I haven't seen any of it, dude.
You should start watching them.
What is it on? Is it on Netflix?
Adult Swim, Cartoon Network. I don't know. We just find it on
I'm
random
Pretty sure it's on Hulu.
armpit of the internet.
I think it's on Hulu. Same thing with Family Guy. That's why I'm really thinking about getting Hulu.
I mean, I've seen like 13 seasons of Family Guy. 14. I will watch Rick and Morty. I just have not had a.
I would rewatch a bunch of it with
You know
you.
what's so funny?
You know what I mean?
Oh, I would rewatch.
If you came over to watch like Mandalorian with us, because it's only 38 minutes long.
watch like 3
we
Rick
could,
and Mortys.
We could
with
knock
each
out
one.
like 3 or 4 Rick and Mortys, and
They're 20 minutes long.
yeah.
I've had like 2 other close friends also tell me to watch Rick and Morty.
There's
And that, like they try and like tell me an inside joke and like I don't.
I'd be totally down to do it because there's a
like-
lot of like insanely funny episodes, like to the point that you're crying. But there's also some really dumb episodes. So
Fine, where you're laughing that
yeah,
hard.
There's some
we're
duds.
laughing so
Yeah,
hard
there's
that
some
we're
duds.
yeah. I have the hiccups and then I ensue heartburn and then I get mad and then I want to die, but I'm really happy.
So is it
But
just
it's-
different writers? Like, why is it different?
I don't know. It's just fucking awesome, man. It's so fast paced and just nonstop humor. I mean, as long as it's a good episode.
Because seriously, people have kept telling me. I'm afraid to watch it now at this.
Nah, it's easy.
No, we'll plow through it. But I would totally rewatch it anytime you want.
All right. So after the whole group goes through all their stuff and finally landing with Thornton just slamming beers and Irina or ales and Irina just flabbergasted by all of it, she completely snaps out of the funk she was in. She's not walking. She's got her shoulders back. She's got her hair out. She's got, you see her armor. You start to feel like, wow, this woman seems like she could really carry herself rather than this weeping damsel in distress. She seems like a pretty put together lady. Ismark, after another half hour or so, he kind of like peels back. Irina's kind of walking along, doing her own thing. And he peels back to you guys and he goes, man, thanks a lot. I mean, you guys have done so much for us. But that was just a little bit more than I ever expected you guys would do for my sister. I know that you guys are all about business and just sort of getting to where we need to go. But it was really important to me that that she's not super uncomfortable because it was really starting to freak me out. He says, "There's something that I have." That I think is kind of important. I've kept it really close to the chest here because it took me a lot to find it, to put it together. And it's probably, despite all my family's wealth, this one piece of paper here is probably my most valued possession. And he says, but I trust you all enough based on what you've shown, the compassion you've shown my sister and the support you've given us so far. He goes, I want to share this with you. I'm sorry that I couldn't earlier. And he goes into his backpack and he pulls out a tube, a parchment tube. It has the symbol of his family on it, the Kolyanich symbol. It's a very nice sort of scroll container. And he pulls out a big piece of paper. And if I can find it here, I'll show you. And he rolls out this 36 inch by 24 inch, like really big, scroll that he kind of rolls out in front of everybody. And he says, to the best of my knowledge, he goes, this is a little bit of the lay of the land. He says, I spent a lot of my family's...
0 miles, a really long mile.
He says, I spent a lot of my family's fortune and a lot of my connections to put this together. He says, but this might give us, this is what I've been using. It's not precise, but it gives us a pretty decent sort of lay of the land in the valley of Barovia. And then he points to I don't know if you could see in the lower right the little bridge that goes across the pond or the river there. So if you see Barovia and the town or the river coming out of Barovia and the little bridge going over that river,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys see that on this map. Kind of points right. He points right there, and he goes. Yeah, I think he goes. We should be right about here.
Okay.
Dan, where did you get this?
Like on the east side of the lake kind of thing. That bridge.
Yep. So if you see where it's where Barovia is spelled out down on the village of Barovia down there in the bottom right,
Yeah.
and kind of follow that road down. You see a little bridge going across the water. You're just on the other side of that bridge. Is what he's pointing to.
Where'd you get the map, though?
I've found it.
That's awesome.
0 miles of really long hike.
It's actually perfect for where everything you guys know and where you're at.
It
So
reminds me of Droop. What was the name of the guy?
that was Droop. I think his name was Droop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his map was real good.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
But at that he says, so you guys can, I trust you. You can keep this. And he gives you guys the map. And he says, it's starting to get a little dark. We should probably keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, assuming you stay in the same sort of marching order, you continue along the path. As you can see on the map we're on here now, it kind of moves, still stays kind of tight through the woods. As you move through here, I'm kind of moving your little marker around. You guys seeing that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sorry, I'm checking a thing. Thoradin. You have, as you're walking through, I mean, you're starting to get, the map's a little simplistic. It feels like you're winding on this road through a very sort of tight path through this dark, tall forest that you've seen since you've been in Barovia. But you start to, you bend, you make a bend in this one corner, and you haven't seen much of really any activity from anything. And you happen to notice a couple of ravens circling around an area off to the right of the path. That's you, Thoradin. You notice this.
Oh, God. Yeah. Fucking birds. I hate them. I try and throw a rock.
Make an attack roll.
Nice.
Yeah, you're a brawler.
That's right. I think that's a 20 plus 6. Yeah. All right, here we go. So I wind up. I throw it. $13.
13. All right. So you see a bunch of ravens circling around this one tree, or this right side of the path. Hey, that was good. And you line up, you grab a rock from the side of the path, and you hit one, and it goes boom, and hits it straight in the chest. And
Got it.
You see feathers fly, and this bird goes and kind of like spin to the ground. The others that were circling with it just scatter into the distance. Do you want to walk towards where the bird dropped, or just carry on the path?
I'm definitely walking towards that fucking bird.
Okay. Everybody following, or
Crocus is going to use talk to animals. Blackwin, talk. Blackwin, talk to the creature.
If I do this time, will everyone be okay with that?
I mean, this time we're dealing with creatures, so
Yeah, not zombies, you
This time
momo.
it's actually an animal.
yeah. Give it
That's
a
right.
shot. Give it your best shot, honey.
Give me your best shot, honey.
Can I roll for that or what?
Let's see. I don't know if you need. I don't
I
even know
remember
if you
that.
even need to. Hold on.
It's supposed to
Speak
be a
with
GIF.
animals.
That's big unit, right? Isn't
Yeah,
that-
it was supposed to be a GIF.
No,
It's your
not a-
Eldritch
it's not a
engaging
GIF.
in
just a-
verbal,
it's just a
somatic, one action. Nope, you just can do it.
Okay. Can I? Do I get their attention, or can I? Do I say something first?
So for 10 minutes after you use this as an action, so you cast this spell no, you could just talk to any animal like you were talking to another person, but they are limited by their own intelligence, so they're only as smart as they really are.
Okay, so I very soothingly I say hello.
Hello.
Um,
Not old Greg. But thank
Hello.
you.
so you
It's really
approach
nice.
where this raven spiraled and crashed to the ground, and you walk up to it and you say something.
Yeah.
Okay. The bird's dead.
But
Even on a 13, yeah.
It doesn't respond. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I didn't clobber the thing, you know. I'm not Randy Johnson. All right, whatever. All right, so we cook it. Cook it,
Jesus.
right?
So I can't talk to the bird.
It's dead.
I know, but
You can talk to it; it just won't talk back.
Yeah, right.
you can do whatever you say, anything you want.
Yeah. What do you say to it?
I say,
Very soothingly. Very soothingly.
I'm sorry, my friend killed you for no reason.
It's gonna taste really good. I'm sorry about that.
Oh. So you're talking to this bird, and it's not responding. But you notice right beyond the bird, there is a body of some sort, something larger than the bird, an animal. You just see fur and just a lump of fur, let's say,
Oh,
black,
God.
dark gray, black, just mound near a tree where it landed.
Dr. Doolittle's gonna. I want to talk to it and see what's up.
before.
What?
Wow. I'm gonna
Dr.
read it.
Doolittle. Do you want to inspect this body at all, or do you want to go back to your
I don't know
group?
what the fuck it is.
Okay.
Don't
So
let
so
me-
you kind of look at what and then you notice that it is a carcass of a wolf, a rather large wolf, and its foot is caught in a large trap. A big silver bear trap that had caught its leg, and this thing is just dead in it.
That means we're far enough outside. If there's silver, we're no longer close to Barovia. Correct?
Now we haven't seen this, right?
Nope, only Blackwind kind of chased after this bird to try to talk to it, but the bird landed right next to this body, this wolf body in a trap. Do you want to inspect it further, or go back and tell your friends? What's that?
We can also wait until Adam's back and Matt is not texting Deathwing. Your t-shirt looks like Deathwing's mom. With the lighting, that's amazing. Wait, what is it?
Sargeras.
That makes sense.
So what are you gonna do? What are you doing with this wolf trapped in the trap?
I mean, as far as I have +5 investigation. Can I investigate it?
Yeah. Go ahead, roll that.
Alright. 6%. All right, rolling now. Did everyone see the price for the number, the Max Mac
Yeah.
Pro?
Yeah, it's like 53,000 or something.
Yeah.
What?
If you like
That's crazy.
completely trick out your Mac with the case and
5,300 or 1,000?
53,000. The base model
That's the
is like 5 or
stupidest
6
thing
grand,
ever.
like the cheapest you can get.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
So Blackwing, you see this raven spiral out of the sky after Thoradin hits it with a rock for no good reason, and you walk over to and, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. And you see this wolf corpse trapped in a trap, and you start to investigate a little bit, and you realize that on its paws, on its front paws, which were trapped under its body, it has gloves on the paws. And when you pull the gloves off, you see that they're rather unique looking. And I just shared kind of what they look like.
That's what the wolf's feet look like?
Did you see? Did I properly share this thing?
Yeah.
Gloves found on wolf corpse.
Yeah, the Spider-Man gloves.
They look like Spider-Man
That's what I
gloves.
was
yes.
thinking.
Yeah. So that's what you see on them, and you pull those off. And do you want to take them?
Yeah, put them on.
Yeah, I put them on.
Yeah, Blackwing puts them on.
You put them on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know what
I mean,
they do,
you-
though, huh?
Oh boy.
Just
Are they gonna-
just out of character, I don't want to like step on anybody's toes, but just so you guys know, when you get an item that may or may not be when you get an item, you can get attuned to it by spending time just like researching it and checking it out. So just for future reference, when you get something or somebody gets something, if you just like check it out for a little bit, you can learn some shit about it. Just in case
That's
it's
right.
like cursed and it's gonna like give you AIDS and HPV.
Like when.
So you can go ahead.
No, like when Will got stuck in a trunk.
That's right. He did
Yeah.
not spend any time looking at it. But you grab the gloves and you put them on, and they're comfortable gloves. Do you want to spend some time as you're walking along the path now, kind of checking into them, or do you want to tell your friends about them? You want to hide them? What are you doing with the gloves?
Well, I mean, I want to basically always communicate what they're doing to me, what they're making me. But like, let's just keep walking along, and if I discover anything along the way, like we'll come to that kind of thing.
Okay.
Like,
Do you have Slack? Do you have Slack open?
I don't, but my phone should probably pick it up. So, like, if you
Okay. Well, I'm gonna assume that you guys are gonna walk a little bit further.
now, I'm scared. Now, as soon as you say it's Slack open, I'm like, they burn these gloves.
No,
I-
he's just
Let me
saying-
rephrase. I'm not going to assume that you're walking further, but when you've spent enough time, when you've had these gloves on long enough, I will let you know what they are.
Okay.
As of right now, you found some very strange looking gloves on the feet of a wolf that was trapped in a bear trap, and you put them on.
Those are some very warlocky looking gloves, man.
They really are.
Such an idiot.
And then at that, you put the gloves on, you're looking at them, and suddenly you feel a sharp pain in your neck. And you go and you grab towards your neck, and there's a huge, wooden or thorn-like spike sticking into your neck.
You got a spike in your neck, man.
Yes!
Took one to the jugular.
You're crazy, man.
All right, 1 second. Sorry.
So you're definitely dead. Like that's.
Should not have put them on. Well, if I can't be risky here, where can I be risky?
And you take 6 points of piercing damage.
Oh.
And you have a very large thorn-like needle sticking out of your neck right now.
6 points, you said?
Yep. And everybody roll initiative.
Cool. Save those 20s for important things, Posh.
I know.
I'm sorry that I'm delayed. Hello?
Thornton, did you roll?
Oh, we're all rolling initiative.
Yeah.
I got it.
So as you guys hear Blackwind sort of like rummage around this corpse, and then you see him kind of like scream and like hold his arm up, and you see this thing sticking out of his neck. You guys start glancing around, and you see from the corners of the woods these hunched over humanoid looking figures on both sides of the road in the woods, just sort of like creeping and like crawling in a weird, almost inhuman kind of way. And you see a handful of them. Also, you see Thornton. You notice that right above the tree that Blackwind is at, you see another one of those ravens just sort of perched up in the tree looking down at Blackwind, the wolf, kind of like perched over all of you. So you threw a rocket up into the group of them. You hit one that fell to the ground. The others scattered away, but you see one that's just still kind of perched up there.
Prick.
And he's just sitting there. And so, Spargle, you saw Blackwind move up ahead, kind of checking out this wolf, and then him just kind of shriek in pain as he jumped up, and you see this thing sticking out of his neck. And it was at that moment that you notice at least a handful, at least 3 or 4 of these humanoid-like creatures lurking in the woods around you guys.
Okay. And I have view of these are 5-foot blocks.
Yep.
I'm trying to think how far up I am. It's like 45 feet probably to that looks like kind of like to that closest one. And do I know that these things? I mean, do I know these things are attacked? Blackwind.
So you heard Blackwind scream. You were kind of watching what he was doing, and then when you heard him scream, you started looking around and you noticed these shapes in the woods. So you're making an assumption that it's related.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna do a scorching ray. So I'm gonna create these 3 rays of fire, and I'm gonna shoot them at the 3 that I can see there.
Nice.
Okay, so you can do 1, 2, 3. You can hit all 3 of them differently.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to roll 1 for each, basically.
Okay.
Do you want me to just do 3? No, I can't. Never mind. Oh, it's crying out loud. Jeez. Unbelievable.
Hold on 1 second. It might not be as bad as you think.
I mean, holy shit, though. 4, 4, and 2. Jesus.
Yeah, that's some pretty bad rolls. Jeez.
Fuck.
So I'm gonna say 1 and 2 and 3. You hit the first 2, the 2 that are closest to you.
Okay. 2d6. All right, so 4 and 7.
Okay.
How far are these squares?
They are 5-foot squares. There's a ruler kind of thing on here somewhere.
Yeah,
I thought.
I don't remember how to get it to work.
It looks like 65 feet to the furthest, I think.
Oh yeah, if you do the one that looks like a comb on the 0, so I can do like, I don't know if you're seeing me do this, but it's 40 feet to that one for you, 60 feet to that one, 55 for that one. Anyhow.
Yeah, no, I see that. How do I get
Oh,
it
that's
to do that?
sweet.
It's like in the middle of the toolbar on the left. It looks like a comb on top of a little circle.
That's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
All right. So right after Blackwind catches this needle thing in the neck, Spargle kind of like jumps forward and throws his arms out, and these blasts of fire just kind of go flying into the woods. And you see sparks where it hits 2 of these weird forest creatures, and you see a little bit of smoldering and smoke as it blasts them in the chest. It seems to fuck them up pretty good. Thoradin, that's what you've seen.
All right, so it's my instinct to go help Blackwind, because he's in trouble. So I'm gonna move the full 25 feet.
Okay.
So that would be, I think it's 25. Is that one? So gonna go there. Okay. And then I'm gonna cast Misty Step, which is it's a bonus action.
Okay.
Briefly surrounded by silvery mist, you teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you could see.
All right.
So
I like it.
I'm going to. Can I see over here?
Yep.
Okay, so I cast Misty Step to go right there.
Okay. So you've moved, you've used your bonus action. Now you're standing. Now, so what you guys see is Thoradin kind of running forward, and then he's holding on to his holy symbol and motioning his striking arm forward, and he just sort of Nightcrawler like just sort of teleports within a blink of an eye and just shoots forward another 30 feet, and he's standing now right next to that needle blight in the forest with Talon in hand.
So that's really all I could do.
I mean, you still have your action if you want to use it.
Oh, moving doesn't count as my action?
No, you could get you get a movement, a bonus action, and an action are all separate
So
things.
I'm gonna attack this son of a bitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the injured or uninjured one?
That is the one of them that you hit with the with your flame bolt.
All right, so I'm going to attack, and then I'm going to use Divine Smite. When you hit with a melee weapon, you can expend one spell slot to deal 2d8 radiant damage.
Now, does Divine Smite cost you any sort of action or anything, though? I don't know. I'm asking.
It just says special. Action type, it says special.
Okay. No, you should be good then. No action. Yep.
So I'll attack. Do I have to decide what spell slot I want to use for Divine Smite before I roll for hit, or
Yes.
okay, makes sense. Can't hedge your bets. So I'll expend just one spell slot. So
a level 1 spell slot, so you're doing an extra 1d8
2d8.
or 2d8. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah. Is it undead? Do we know?
You don't know.
Yeah,
If it's undead, your smite will do another d8. But
I don't know.
You
Alright,
guys don't know, but thanks for the reminder.
All right, so I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna pull out Talon, and I'm gonna swing it. It glows so brightly when I pull it out of its sheath, especially in dark, dank forest. So it's a 20 plus 7. 13.
Uh, 13's a hit.
Oh, great. Okay. So, I'm using it as one-handed, so it's a D8 plus 4 for damage. And then I'll do my Divine Smite.
Plus another 2d8, right? So it's 3d8 plus 4.
Oh, I can do all that in one shot?
Sure. Yep.
So 3d8 plus 4. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So after Thoradin sort of just blinks up towards this creature in the woods, he whips out Talon, and you see Talon glows a faint glow all the time, but you notice the glowing coming from Thoradin's forearm and lighting up the whole sword with his what you guys know to be Divine Smite. And even as he's swinging through this creature, barely does he connect, and it just poofs into a cloud of like splinters and bright sparks. It almost looks like someone threw up sawdust in the air and then ignited it. It's just like a cloud of just like fireworks as that thing completely disintegrates and is just vanquished. Alaric starts to step forward, but as that one creature disintegrated, the raven that's perched up over the tree turns towards you, Thoradin, and like caws once. And then you guys notice from the top, the canopies of the trees, dozens of ravens diving in. You didn't see them before. It's whether you weren't paying attention, whether they were magically hidden or invisible or just parts of the trees. It almost seems like the leaves on the canopies of the trees suddenly animated and are diving in unison into this forest.
I pissed the birds off, huh?
Lark, it's your turn.
Whoops.
Okay. Is that it?
For now.
Is that it?
All right. Well,
What are those spider things?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Oh, those are birds.
Yeah. Okay. So just Alaric was ready to charge in and help his friends in battle, and things are just getting real weird. So just out of instinct, he's going to charge at the closest foe. And as he's running up, yell out a little bit of a battle cry, and
Getting angry.
try to kill this thing. Yeah. Hold on. Let me fuck this up.
So what are you swing? You're swinging at this raven here?
Sure. Is that a raven? I don't know what it is. It looks like an ear. Are they all?
Yeah.
What are these all ravens? Just like different sizes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna use my my barbarian's rage and
Are they attacking us?
swing at him.
They're not. They're swooping down.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
We could just see what happens.
Then I'm gonna hold an action.
All right, so you run up this raven. You ran up to a raven that was kind of coming down from the trees, and you just kind of run up to it and stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw my sword, get ready to swing at it, and then I'm gonna hold, trying to assess
Okay.
the situation.
All right, so I'm going to move you just down the order for now and let Blackwind go.
Well, I'm also gonna take a wait and see approach.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to. Is everyone good?
So this one of the hunched over creatures in the woods, all this commotion, these birds coming down, these people coming in. He just lumbers forward towards Thoradin. And somewhere in here, I have a picture of these things.
Dan, what is this thing right here? In this thing here.
Swarm of ravens.
Which
Those
one?
are-
Sorry, ping it again.
Sorry.
Because I
These
might
things
not
right
have.
here are ravens also, the big ones? I thought these were ravens.
Yeah, so sorry, I meant to try to. You guys don't see the nameplates on them now.
Ugh.
So some of them are just individual little birds flying
Oh,
around. Some of them
I
are
gotcha.
more in clusters. That's all it is. There's some are swarms, some are individual birds. The bottom line is, you entered this wood, and now there's just birds swirling around over your head.
Got it. Okay.
So this creature, which I just shared with you what they look like, I think,
Yep.
comes barreling forward at Thoradin and swings. It starts flailing at you with its claws.
Okay, good luck.
An 11 to hit.
No, not even close.
And these wooden, like, kind of soft, like claws just bounce off the front of your armor. Blackwind, it's your turn again, unless you want to hold.
I turn to Thoradin and I say, "You want me to kill him?"
I fucking hate birds, lad. Kill them all.
Well, I mean, specifically, this goofball.
Yeah, chop them up, lad.
All right.
Shove one of your ghostly hands up his fucking ass.
All right. I have Witch Bolt. I'm gonna cast it
At who?
at the guy who just tried to attack Thoradin.
Okay. Go ahead and cast your Witch Bolt. So that is a 3d12. Is that what it is? 3d12. Make a ranged spell attack first, though. I'll let you keep that as your damage roll, but you have to hit with a ranged attack roll.
So it's 1d20 plus 7.
Yeah, but plus 7. Yep, against its AC. Which theoretically, I don't know if you can even miss, but nope. All right, yeah. So you do the same sort of like concentration, and just this blue, sharp, just bolt of energy comes out, kind of like almost like precision arcs between a couple of the trees and rocks and everything, and hits that wooden forest creature right in the square of the face, and just explodes his head. And it dies instantly. At that, once that one sort of drops, Alaric, as you're about to sort of make your next move, the ravens that have been circling around you sort of split into different groups, and you guys see them swarm these wood forest creatures and just kind of start clawing and cawing at their faces and start distracting them. The one you notice now, based on your kind of eyes tracking the rest of the birds, is that there were a handful others in the woods. You see them just sort of lurking about. But they are now all surrounded by various ravens and swarms of ravens, and they either drop to the ground and start wriggling around, or they start fleeing further into the woods. If you want, at this point, you can take shots at them, but it seems like these creatures, whatever they are running away due to the birds just sort of, scrambling into their faces. And
yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So after a few seconds of confusion, these tree creatures disappear. One raven remains sort of sitting up in the trees. The same one, the same tree that Blackwind walked up to in the first place that had the wolf sitting in it. And it's just sort of perched up at the top of the tree, just kind of doing like a bird-like, kind of looking around at all of you and just kind of scanning the area.
Half elf, talk to it, see what it has to say.
Did they both blow up the second one that died? That little needle thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They
Yep. The ones that I tried to put a red X on them, but yeah, two of those needle things blew up. The rest of them are scrambling into the woods, being sort of pecked at by a number of black birds.
Okay, but they're not like. There's no corpse so much as just.
The second one is, there's a corpse. It's like what it looks like basically is if you had taken a tree trunk, twisted it into a person, and then blasted it with a witch bolt and laid it on the ground. That's what you see.
Yeah. Do I have any knowledge of what this could potentially be?
Make an arcana check.
I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Are we all? Are we all taking a pee break?
If you need to. So what were you asking, Sparkle? What did you want to know?
Do I know what these things are? Are we in combat still?
No. At the moment, nothing's threatening you.
Okay, I'm gonna wander up to one of those corpses and look at it and try to identify it.
Yeah. As you're looking at it, you realize that this. You think that this is some sort of twisted forest magic. That perhaps like a dark druid of some sort, perhaps an elemental, a wooden forest kind of construct of some magical sort.
Got it.
They seem to be humanoid in structure, but very just plant and tree based in terms of composition.
But magic in nature.
Yeah, some sort of dark magic. You're certain of. Yeah.
Do I see anything else?
Not really. They just seem to have been in this area. Maybe. Yeah. No. Nothing else.
Am I within talking distance with that raven?
Yeah, you are now direct. It's directly over your head in a tree.
So I speak in like the woodland creature type of tongue to it, and I just say, hello there.
Is that a language you speak, or are you using like speak with animal?
I have my forest gnome racial feature of being able to communicate with animals. Simple things, I guess. I guess I don't know how that works.
Through sounds and gestures, you communicate. Simple forest gnomes love.
Kind of like a greetings type of thing. You know what I mean? Like salutation, greeting, whatever, however you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you
I can communicate with simple ideas.
So you start to like kind of gesture to it like, just basic like kind of greetings.
Right.
And suddenly this raven dive bombs off the top of the tree right at your feet. I don't know if Matt and Adam are in.
Do you want me to wait? Yeah.
We gotta go to bed soon, guys.
I'm sorry. You can always assume I'm here. I take my headset everywhere. I was just getting water.
So Sparkle walks up to the base of the tree and looks up at the raven that's hanging out in it, and he starts to use his. He's got some ability to sort of communicate in a basic level with forest creatures, and he sort of gestures to this raven, who then the raven just sort of just dive bombs off the top of this tree straight for the ground. You're like, oh my god, this thing is like suiciding. But as soon as this rather large raven makes contact with the ground, it's almost like you dropped a garbage bag full of feathers and it exploded. But when it explodes, and it's very quick, it's just like boom, poof, big cloud of feathers. And then out of the cloud of feathers is a human male. And he looks at you and he says, strangers in our land. He says, I am Nathaniel Swift. He says, I know you're not from here, and I would encourage you to visit us in the town of Vallaki. He says, we've been watching you.
What does he look like?
He looks rather sort of plain. He's got sandy brown hair. It's kind of unkempt. He looks kind of pleasant and peaceful. He doesn't look very menacing. And he says, and he's kind of addressing Spargle at this point, and he says, we have been watching you. Hold on one second. I gotta get.
We've been watching you and your dwarf friend.
I've lost the name of the. Yeah. So he says, I belong to a group called the Keepers of the Feather. Our secrecy is of utmost importance because of, and he won't mention the name. He says, you know who rules the lands here.
We've gathered that. We are actually making our way to Vallaki. Do you know if the passage is clear, or are we going to be plagued by things like this?
He says, it is certainly not clear, but we will do what we can to see your passage to Vallaki safely. When you can, seek out the Keepers of the Feather. I must go now. Strahd approaches. And at that, he kind of like turns, spins, and like is immediately kind of like, as he 180s, turns back into a raven and shoots up into the air and fires off into the distance.
Can I throw a rock at him?
You can. Make an attack roll.
Would anybody be against that?
I am against that.
I'd be
I am
against
too.
that.
Yeah.
So you're both against it.
Three of
All
us
three.
are.
Well, I wouldn't be pleased by it. Yeah. You're your own
I
person,
will
but
stop you. I will.
You can still do it if you want.
Go,
I'll play
go
that.
ahead.
do what you want, man. I'm just.
What I want to do is accommodate. So I'm not going to do it.
Are you asking, or are you just wondering?
All right. So let me put it this way. I pick up a rock, and I I'm like flicking it in my hand, and I'm like, I really don't like birds.
No.
I think this
not
one just
just
helped
this.
us, though.
I think he's a little bit more than a bird, my friend.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Damn it.
I really don't like birds.
As soon as that raven kind of crests the trees and disappears from your view, as Thoradin's just sort of debating this final shot at it and tosses it to the side, you, Thoradin, because you have the highest passive perception, you now hear very faintly, about 1,000 feet away from you, the sound, a sound that you have not heard since you've been in Barovia. Not that sound.
I've heard
But
that
you
a lot.
actually hear music, like jubilant, joyful music, like a carnival.
Oh, so this just got weird.
No, that's not menacing.
And Ismark looks at you, Thornton, because he notices that you're kind of looking in that direction, and he says, he goes, "Oh, we're getting close." And he starts to pull out his map, and he says, "There should be a crossroad ahead. When we get there, I'll explain." And that music kind of just starts to, everybody starts to hear that music as you look down the path and you see it's branching to the left and to the right. Off to the right in the distance is where you hear the music coming from. And at that, and at nightfall, we'll call the session.
Oh wow.
Oh boy.
That's thank you for that.
Oh, good.
What was Bismarck's reaction again? Say that again.
He seems to have some awareness of what the music is. And he said that we're getting close. And when he says that, you notice just at the very edge of your vision, and it is starting to get dark, that the road now splits off to the left and to the right. So you're gonna be able to go towards the music or around the music. Ismark seems to know something about it, but you're well out of the village of Barovia. You now have a map of some sort that Ismark seems to have fashioned. You ran into these strange forest creatures and had some encounter with some ravens. One of the ravens, Spargle talked to, and then presented himself as a human and said that the Keepers of the Feather are someone that you guys should seek out. All this seems to be to the west, but it's now dark. Now it's been. You could have gotten a little bit further if you didn't take a long rest back at the tavern before you head out. But now, as time works, it's getting very dark. You guys can press through the darkness if you want, but you're just about 1,000 feet shy of this big crossroads and probably a good place for you to camp.
We'll camp. While nobody's looking, I take one of those rocks and
I like
We don't
it.
see. All right. I'll wait.
All right. So I will end the stream there, I guess. Anything else we want to talk about before we shut it off? No?
No.
Thanks,
me.
Stuart.
Thanks, everybody.
That's it.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for watching.